we are going to vote this regime out. Okay, tutamaliza ni kufinish kumalo. Hakuna story ingine.
We need to separate corruption from jealous.
True.
If somebody has money you don't have, you don't say they have stolen it.
Okay.
But where does a president who's paid 1.2? No.
I had interjections to make.
You cannot, for heaven's sake, come and tell Kenyans that the president is generous and is distributing 1 billion per month.
But it is his money.
From
Wait
where?
a minute, because I just wanted, I was just getting clarification.
From where?
He does business.
Are you done?
Which business?
Are you done?
Poultry keeping?
No,
because that's the only business.
Are you done?
Okay.
I'm not yet done.
Okay, continue.
Yes.
You even don't understand how your father is paid 30,000 shillings and he doesn't have your school fees of 10,000 shillings. Then you're here paid 5 times what he used to be paid. You can't marry.
Hey, good people, good viewers of the Citizens Mic podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good everything, and welcome to today's podcast. So today I am just privileged because I have 2 people going for the seats of a member of parliament, and therefore today it's all about politics. We just want to see these people, what are they planning to do for the people, and maybe look at other issues that have been happening in our country. And actually, to start with, of course, they are going to introduce themselves, and we just dive in. Talking about the Nikocadi, actually that is what we are starting with, because this is an initiative by the young people and we are seeing it's really getting momentum so far. So it is something that is worth noting, because the people that I have in the studio right now, they are still young people. Pengine wataniambia otherwise, but I see them as young people. So watuambie kwanza kama wako kadi. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. My name is Otieno Mokaya. They call me Agakia Kaya or Bobasi One, incoming member of parliament for Bobasi constituency. Ndio niko kadi. But sasa sisi, kunajua kuna game mbili wakati uko kadi. Kuna silent game na kuna wale wa kushout niko kadi. Shida mingi ni watu wanashoutingi niko kadi, unapata kadi wako nazo haziwezi maliza game. Mimi niko kadi na kadi yangu inamaliza game.
Si red card. Haja kuna watu nilisikia wakiambiwa wako na red card, wengine wako na yellow card.
Kuna watu hata wako na joker na wako na haimalizangi card.
Okay.
Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Anthony Gitonga, popularly also known kule mashinani as Anto Gito. I'm vying for the Othaya parliamentary seat with the DCP party. And mimi niko kadi. The Nikocadi ideal is a very strong statement.
Yes.
And a very strong warning. Ya kusema, sisi tuko na the right weapon to finish this game. Alright? Mimi kivyangu najua Nikocadi na tunahimiza vijana wote kule nje. Tafadhali tuchukue ile kadi. Ile kadi ni voters card. Na ni kusema ya kwamba we are going to vote this regime out. Okay, tutamaliza. Ni kufinish kumalo. Hakuna story ingine. Kuna wale ambao pia wanataka kuiba hiyo slogan, lakini wajue wako red card. Red card ni kusema it's just a matter of time hii game ishe. Alright? My good friend here anasema mambo ya joker. Unajua ukiwa na joker na ukiwa na yeye uko silent. Lakini ukijua uko kadi, that's when you say niko kadi. Hiyo ni kumaanisha I know nimecheza game yangu vizuri, nataka kumaliza hii game. Alright? When you're playing the poker card. But I'm excited because the young people are coming out strongly. It's a movement that we need to support. Because they are saying that nikue kadi, ukue kadi, tumalize hii game. Because the bigger picture here is rescuing our country. We have seen so many things that are not in tandem with what we assigned this government to do. All right?
Yeah.
So the question that we'll be asking our good friends is, kile mnafanya tulikubaliana? Na kile tulikubaliana mnafanya, all right? Hapo ndio red card tutachomoa.
Hapo ndio red card itakuwa imechomolewa. You know, first of all, even before we get deeper in the conversation, this initiative is for the young people, the youth. I know for the longest time, the young people have been blamed, and especially the Gen Zs. Mmekuwa mkisema kwamba hawajui chenye wanachokifanya. I remember people telling me because of the statistics about the voting and the registration that we have been seeing, the numbers actually. So I think it is a time when the young people have just realized that yes, tumekuwa tunataka changes, but there's something that we lack, which is the voters card. And they have come up with that campaign, that initiative, and we are seeing it is yielding, because like yesterday I saw just across the country, I saw people from Kisii. They marched to the IEBC office. I saw people from Mombasa. I saw people here in Kibra also marching to the IEBC offices, and they said that by August they are targeting to register as many young people to vote. So that is a very good initiative. But now, I've also seen the opposition and the government, the broad base.
It's the other way. It's the government and the opposition.
I wasn't pointing you actually.
It's UDA.
Yeah, so
versus alternative government.
the united opposition,
Yes.
let me just say the opposition in general,
yes.
and also the government, they have come out, and each and every one of them seems like wanataka kusupport. Well, it is a good thing that we are all coming together, because the objective is to have as many young people as possible that can be able to drive a change in the country. That one nawawekea tick. Watu wa 2-term tick, watu wa 1-term tick. Sasa depends with ni kadi gani watu wako nayo pale ndani. Yes.
The proponents, Tricia, of Nikocadi movement have come out clearly and have told us what they mean. All right? They have told us that Nikocadi is equal to 1 term. Is equal to say that this regime is a one-term regime. It's all over the social media.
Nikocadi inamaanisha 1 term.
Let us not get it twisted. It is there. Let's check all the interviews, and a very good thing you've said, and he also agrees with me, that the youth dynamic is something that is going to change the politics of 2027. And that is why you see the government, the opposition, everybody trying to align with the youth. Because the way we have voted before is not the way we are going to vote in 2027. With 75% of our population being the young people, and this time 70% of them being educated, having access to technology, and knowing that voting now means that I'm impacting my own life, they're going to come out. And that is why everybody now wants to align. But forget about what the opposition is saying. Forget about what the government is saying. They themselves have told us, guys, don't get it twisted. All right? For us, Nikocadi means this government is 1 term. It means Ruto must go.
Otieno.
It's in the big
Bobasi one. Ngoja kwanza. This is Bobasi one. Othaya one.
Correct.
You did say, and I know you are Othaya one.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
So,
what's your take on that?
We are daktari here, with all respect. I don't know kama ni daktari wa magonjwa, ni daktari wa mitishamba.
Daktari wa siasa, ni PhD in political science.
Kuna daktari wa madawa ya kulevya.
Kuna madaktari.
He didn't specify. But seriously speaking, let's not confuse the cry of the baby as the hate for the father. When a baby is crying, he's just crying maybe for food, and the baby does not care where the food is coming from. The baby wants food.
True.
So associating a cry of the baby with love for the mother or even hate for the father is getting it wrong. Initially, this baby was innocent. Nikocadi, we want civil education, we want to get this right to vote. And this thing has been hijacked. The same way, maandamano by our young people was hijacked by people with their own agendas. It started as an innocent cry for justice, an innocent cry for this finance bill. Then terrorists hijacked that movement and started stealing from people's shops. This thing, which is an innocent cry of a baby to get food, to get their right to vote, has been injected with political conmanship. This is it. The Nikocadi movement is a good initiative, and that's why you see every other person is embracing it. You have branded me Sirikali, but I'm not. The thing is, we are two factions here, really. The logical, emotional side and the logical, progressive side. And this is what I'm saying.
I don't know
During
how
the Mau
he
Mau,
brands me such, because what you're talking about here is fundamentally how we rescue our country.
Let me land my point.
Yeah.
The Mau Mau fight, we had the youth who were in the forest fighting for this country. We had the youth who were snitching them to the colonial government. They're called collaborators. They are both the same age. They had different purposes. During the second liberation of this country, we had people who believed this country has to develop with return on investment. We had others who believed there is Majimbo, every other faction of this country should receive development, whether they have return on investment or not, whether they are from Northeastern or Luo Nyanza. In 1992, there were people who were called YK92 who were supporting the regime that was there, whether for good reason or not. And we had the bearded sisters who were asking for liberation of this country. Both of those people were young people. In 2007, we had people who were for the establishment, the Mother Karuas and others. We had ODM Reloaded, led by the likes of Ababu Namwamba. All of them were young people. And all these people from lines in history were Kadi on their own vice. It is wrong, it's misguided, it's even disingenuous to think that you can bottle a whole generation to one group just because you have hijacked a narrative. It is not sincere to say that Nikocadi is equal to who must go, who must come in.
It is not me saying it. It is the proponents of that particular slogan.
Tricia, this conversation is so high level a conversation that we can't reduce it into heckling.
No, I'm not heckling.
Once I'm doing my point, you shall have your time to make your point. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. But please refer your points to facts.
Okay, you'll get the opportunity to respond.
Right.
Defending your thesis, you didn't argue. You made your point. The people made your point. I'm not a doctor, but at least I know that. What I'm saying is, Nikocadi is Nikocadi for anyone. And let nobody box anyone that Nikocadi means you hate someone. Nikocadi means you are against someone. Nikocadi is a positive movement. It's a positive for you to go vote. It's not an imperative for you to vote a certain way. Nikocadi means the youth of this country who believe that this government needs to be added more time to do what it has to do. Wakokadi. The youth in this country who believe that this government needs to go, also Wakokadi. But it's a positive movement. It's not a negative movement. It's not a movement to chase anyone. It's a movement to vote. Vote for who you think represent you, not vote against. And there is a region in this country which has consistently voted based on vitriol, voted against people. You said kuna wazimu wanafaa kwenda Bondo. By God's grace, ameenda Bondo. You came and said, there is a child of yours who you have to give a birthday gift. You gave out 5 years of our life because of a birthday. You came back and said, you have this person who's from Mamamboga and to a boda boda. You gifted 5 years of our life. And right now, you want to create another enemy for us to hate on your behalf. What you are saying is, as the young people of this country, we are taking a voter's card to vote for policy, to vote for agendas, to vote for good use of our tax, and to vote for the freedoms of this country.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, you've given him close to 8 minutes. I hope I have the same.
Is it really?
He has said quite some good things, and some that I also want to challenge. One, when you talk about the Nikocadi movement, it's not us. It's not ours.
Yes.
It has the owners, all right?
Yeah.
And the owners are all over social media. So it doesn't matter what he says about the Nikocadi movement because he didn't come up with that. He's not a founder of that particular movement.
Neither are you.
Neither am I.
Okay.
And that is why what I'm saying is also not for me.
Yeah.
I'm referring to what the proponents are saying. And it is all over social media. And they have said, guys, don't get it twisted. And especially you, the political class. For us, Nikocadi movement or Nikocadi essentially means we have our card and there's somebody we want to send home, all right? Voting in politics is about voting people into office and voting some people out from office, all right? I want to go back from where he started, and I want to agree with him that the cry of the baby should not be confused with the love for the mother or with the hate for the father. Forget about the mother and father. I want to agree with him that the baby is crying. The Kenyan is crying. The Gen Zs are crying, all right?
Yeah.
The corruption in this country is too much. Every other day we are seeing in the dailies 11 billion shillings. 11 billion shillings lost from Sham. 11 billion shillings lost, I think, in the affordable housing. I mean, there is such an appetite for corruption by this regime that all of us are now getting scared, all right? And I agree with him that everybody's crying. The young people are saying, guys, we don't have jobs. How do you explain?
Can I cut you short? Yeah,
Yes.
but just to maybe to get it
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
When you say there's a lot of corruption in
Yes.
this government.
Yes.
Did corruption start with Ruto's administration?
It didn't start with Ruto's
Yeah, it has always been
administration,
there.
but it has ballooned 100 times. Okay, the reason why we voted this regime in is because Ruto himself told us that there won't be corruption in this government because there won't be money to steal, because all money will go into projects. How then do you explain that a president comes into office and within 3 years, the State House budget has tripled? I mean, why do you need 17 billion shillings for a State House and for the presidency, which is actually even more than White House for the United States of America? That is corruption. How do you explain, and this we have seen it even in the socials, that you have the SHA, the security, the SHA system, that you have more than 100 hospitals that do not exist being paid in excess of 11 billion shillings, and nobody can be held to account. We are saying we know that Kenya has money. It's very painful to see how we are losing this money. It's very painful to see that nobody is being held to account. All right? The corruption here, and that is why we will never get to Singapore. Singapore is just another fallacy to get us confused so that more money can be stolen. So I totally agree with him that the Kenyan baby is crying. There are no jobs. Money is being stolen everywhere, all right? Those things that used to work have all been confused and have all been jeopardized by this government. From the healthcare, to education. How do you explain to a layman Kenyan that you are reducing education capitation, all right, and increasing State House budget? How do you tell me that a president can distribute over 500 million shillings to churches in 1 month, all right? 100 million shillings to one church, 50 million shillings to another church, 100 million shillings to another church, and we are reducing capitation.
Let me ask you, because
Yes.
I've also, and I've had people ask
Yes.
about where does this money come from? Let me ask you, Otieno, these monies that the president is giving in places, does it go back to the national budget, or is it personal?
There is an office called the Auditor General.
Okay.
And we need to separate corruption from Jelous.
True.
If
That's
somebody
very true.
has money you don't have, you don't say they have stolen it.
Okay.
But where does a president who's paid 1.2? No.
No,
I
he
had
made-
to be factual.
No, no, no,
I had
let's
interjections
also-
to
allow
make.
him to
I
say
had
don't-
interjections
don't-
to make.
How do you
I
explain?
did- I had-
give
I had
him time.
interjections
Give
to
him
make.
time,
I
because-
didn't make it. I
Half
didn't
a
make
billion
it. I
shillings.
didn't.
He gave you
I didn't
time.
make
Give him
interjections.
time.
But it's not
I
fact.
didn't
No, let
make
him
interjections
say it
when
so that
we
now
were.
you can respond,
Please, this shirt he's wearing represents insult holding and
democracy
spewing
for the
vitriol.
citizens.
We can't reduce this platform to heckling.
It's not heckling,
Please,
it's facts.
if
How do you tell
this
us
is
the
a
president
mature
is-
debate.
I agree.
You raise your point.
Just, yeah.
At my time, I rebut. You
But
are
please-
not
please
about
go on.
facts. You are not
Don't trivialize the
counter.
debate.
No, please go
I
on,
mean,
Otieno.
let's be
Say
factual.
what I was saying.
What I'm saying is, let's not trivialize this debate. You cannot, for heaven's sake, come and tell Kenyans that the president is generous and is distributing 1 billion per month.
But it is his money.
From
Wait
where?
a minute, because
We
I
know.
just wanted,
But
I was
from
just
where?
getting
Is-
clarification.
From where?
He
Is
does
it- are you
business.
done?
Which business?
Are you done?
Poultry keeping,
No, are
because
you
that's the
done?
only business
Are
I
you-
know.
are you done?
Okay.
I'm not yet done.
Okay, continue.
Yes. I mean, Tricia, let's be factual. Let's be fair. All right? Where is this money coming from? Don't tell us, and we know the source. I mean,
No, you don't know.
2026,
You don't know the
we
source,
know the source
because
is corruption.
this is
It's
no.
public loot.
I think when you say it's corruption, you're supposed to be able
11
to
billion
substantiate
shillings lost.
that.
State House budget tripled in 3 years.
11 million lost
You don't-
where?
It's not rocket science.
Lost where?
Sure.
But they said that money was
But you
not
don't expect
lost.
them to say it is
It
lost.
was about
but the office of the Auditor
claims.
General have put questions to that fund.
No. I think, okay, when we are talking, like he's saying, let's have facts.
I have all the
because I don't
facts.
want to accuse anyone
Correct.
for something that cannot be substantiated.
let's
I
remain
think
with
that is
facts.
it.
Sound.
Yeah, let's talk about the facts only, so
Yeah.
that now we get back. Okay, it is just a genuine question or
Yeah.
concern that I had asking, because I've been asking, enyewe, rais anapeana pesa mingi.
Yeah.
So I've just been asking because most of these places that is giving money, like for example,
Yes.
during the iftar in Kisumu, I saw he gave them some funds to be able to jenga the mosque, right? to support in the building construction of the mosque. So the question nikakuwa najiuliza, bwana, yo pesa ni mingi, but again I cannot judge him because I don't know his source of funds.
Tricia, I'm logical. And I'm not, I try my level best not to be emotional.
True.
And once you become emotional, you cloud your view, which is otherwise very educated.
Let us just continue.
With
just give me your submission. Yes.
So, William Ruto became a politician in 1992.
Kitambo sana.
He won his first election in 1997. He has never lost an election since. He has been a member of parliament. He has been a minister. He has been a deputy prime minister. He, by whatever means, not a poor man. 30 years of any career, you've made some money.
Yeah.
And William Ruto has not started giving out money when he was president. When he was contributed to churches, when he was DP, he was giving around the same figures. And media, you have videos of him doing that. Yeah. So it's not when he became president that he started dishing out millions. I'm not saying that is right. I'm saying there has been a pattern to this thing. Whether you call it madness or extravagance, there has been a pattern to this. And it's not linked to power. So this question you're asking, why is he giving this amount of money? He gave it when he was campaigning, when he had an office, yes, but he was not in charge of money. Now that he's in charge of money, he's giving it, we're asking questions. As a person, if you are partying before you got a job, why are we asking why you're partying when you
still have a job?
There is an office called the Auditor General.
Yes.
The office of the Auditor General, the biggest job it has is to audit government offices and government expenditures and making sense to it versus the budget and raising queries. An audit query is not a judgment. An audit query is a question for clarification.
Sure.
So when you see an audit query again, it's not a guilty verdict. It is, I
But
gave you 100
smoke,
shillings, please. I gave you 100 shillings, you spend 90, please explain 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we can say all we want to say. He saw it that education is wrong, is going wrong, and I want to respond to that. The budget of 500 billion has been increased to 702 billion.
Sure. Actually, I wanted also to correct that.
There have been employed 100,000 teachers and 16 more targeted this year. There's 23,000 classrooms built in this country, which you can go touch, see, and feel. There's 1,600 laboratories in our high school and junior primary and junior secondary schools that are being built now. There has been an increase in TVET enrollments from 297,000 to 718,000.
Yeah.
That's at twice the amount we had. University funding has increased from 45 billion to 82 billion. HELB allocation has gone to 41 billion. So that is one of the things that has been done and logically can be supported. So when you point about SHA, have you been sick and have you walked into a hospital and demanded that SHA works for you and it has not? Let's not just sit and say because somebody on a Prado said SHA does not work, you say SHA does not work. We had a case of somebody who was sick and was trying to do a fundraiser. We asked, have you tried this thing called SHA? They said SHA does not work. We asked, do you mean SHA does not work or SHA should not work? He was challenged to try. They came back with a question, 7,000 is too much. Then a round table was done and he was given 7,000. He subscribes to SHA. SHA worked immediately. The question is, there's 100 hospitals who have been denied their claims because they can't explain how they spent that money. Do you say the mtego wa panya is bad because it has imeshika panya 100, or do you say hizi panya 100 ni mbaya sababu zilikuwa zinataka kula nguo? The system that we bought so expensively, which I know it's a touch on, has caught 100 hospitals who are about to spend or cannot explain why they claim this amount of money. Do we say it is wrong because it has caught these thieves? Or do we say the thief is wrong because he tried to kill? I'm saying there is one thing when you're logical to be branded pro-government. There is another thing when you're emotional to be branded revolutionary. I say even terrorists, if you look at them from their side, you'll call them revolutionary. Museveni was a revolutionary. Gaddafi was a revolutionary. Mobutu Sese Seko was a revolutionary. Every other person who burnt a country came in as a revolutionary. When we attack, it's okay to attack. But what are we basing our attack on? Can we pause a minute and say, Mgala muwe na haki yake mpe? Yes, the SGR is expensive. It is, but is it providing value? Yes, we have an airport with leaking roofs. What can we do about it? Should we fight who has offered to build it, or should we make sense of it? Yes, the expressway is nonsensical because it's a road on top of another road. But for once, we are missing less flights than we used to. Yes, the Mau Summit Road is not necessary to some of us. But are we asked whether the Thika Road is necessary? Do we question development because it goes to places we don't like? Do we count money because it's not being spent on us? Do we ask things because it's the easy thing we do to win local elections? We need to import logic into our conversation. And that's how we can have elevated, logical, and even value for our viewers. Daktari, engage me on the lies that are true.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I want to assure you that you wouldn't find a more logical debater than myself. So don't be so emotional when I challenge you on facts that maybe you can't explain because you also don't know about them. But one thing I want to agree is that we are not in a good place as a country, and that we must agree. Everybody is crying, all right? Farmers are crying. When I talk about education, he has read a whole list. I think that was published by pro-government press of what President Ruto keeps promising. I'm not talking about that. I am a board member of a certain school in Othaya constituency. Mm-hmm. I see the facts and figures. I see the money that is disbursed by government to the school. I know capitation was 22,000. It is no longer 22,000. We're talking about the actual pain that the parent has to go through, all right? Forget about how many classrooms have been built. That is work of government. But why are we destroying such an important legacy of free primary education and saying that we are building schools, we are doing these, but the parent still has got to dig deeper into their pockets.
I remember the saga behind the reduction of the capitation.
Correct.
I remember that time there were the issues of there came out the issues of ghost schools.
Correct.
During that time.
Correct.
So of course there was that ghost allocation of capitation.
Correct.
And also there came an issue about the registers of students.
Yes.
So it is something, I don't even know how it ended.
Yes.
That whole issue, how it ended, because that's why they said they were it was justifying the reduction of the capitation.
Yes.
I think to 16,000.
But I mean, this is not the first year that government is disbursing capitation to schools. How comes this is not now just happening with this regime, all right? It started way back, all right? So when we talk about this thing, forget about all the infrastructure we are being told. My point is, why does a parent need to dig deeper with these very tough economic times, all right? The government has been giving me 22,000,
yes,
all right, for the last 10 years. Now you're telling me that I need to go back and government can only give me 10,000 shillings because all of a sudden somebody has discovered that we are losing money either through ghost schools and so on. It is wrong because the government has got access to technology, access to resources, access to Mitego ya Panya that he's talking about. If there is a ghost school, the Minister of Education can get it within a minute. Why do we have to wait until 11 billion shillings are paid to non-existent hospitals? All right? How did it happen? All right? And that is
did we have the same issue with NHIF?
But not to those levels. And a yesterday wrong does not justify today's wrong, all right? And that is why we have governments to keep improving. We are not saying that the previous governments were all made of saints, all right? But why is it deteriorating by day, all right? Of course, NHIF, we lost money, but we saw effort to make sure that money works for Mwananchi. Today, you get to, and when he talks about sham, I'm not talking about what I've had. I've gone to the hospitals. I have seen people cry and saying, I'm paying 2,000 a month, all right? I'm paying 24,000 a year. And then when I need support, what I'm even getting, somebody in my own hospital at Othaya level 6 hospital got a bill of about 480,000. SHA paid about 56,000. You have paid 24,000 as your annual premium. What does it tell you? Does it really help you? And then 11 billion shillings is lost, all right? And is lost intentionally. It is not to make a mitego ya panya na imepatikana. How do you explain that our whole ministry has paid 11 billion shillings to non-existent hospitals, all right? Our whole government. And that is where it pains us because somebody is not doing the job. Somebody is sleeping on the job. And that is why it is very painful to see how easy it has become to lose public resources.
Okay. Now, is it yesterday or some other day there? I was hosting an analyst here.
Yes.
And then they said, is it here or even in the radio?
All right.
So somebody just said that the problem is not the president.
Yes.
The problem is these other leaders.
Correct.
And actually said,
Yes.
that person was telling me that, unaona hawa wabunge hawa,
Yeah.
hawarudi.
Yeah.
They are spoiling the name of the president.
Yeah.
So that is what somebody was telling me. So some other time,
Yeah.
and of course the blame, all the blames of an MP who has failed,
Yeah.
of a CS who has failed,
Yeah.
of a corporation that has failed.
Yeah.
All this blame comes back to the presidency.
Correct. The buck stops.
Yes, stops at him.
Yes.
So let us just be fair here when we are conversing and just look at, do you think that these people that are in these positions are really, I don't know how to put it, are they the people that we really need back in these offices?
Not at all. You see now,
because I want to
buck
understand,
stops with the president.
wait a minute, I want to understand because I don't think like the project that the president has launched in the SGR.
Yes.
Is it a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I want to say the roads that he's launching. Are they not good things?
They are logical, but at the end of the day, we must look at what is called the cost-benefit analysis.
Sure.
All right? The feasibility studies. And I will give one example. For example, and you've spoken about, let me come back to your other point. The buck stops with the president when it comes to political leadership in this country. All right? We had, 2 years ago, we had issues at the Ministry of Sports. All right? Serious issues about Talanta Stadium, about players and ministers traveling with their girlfriends abroad and utilizing quite a lot of public resources. And the public came out and said that is wrong. But what did we see the president do? The president, instead of firing that particular minister, because he's in charge, he transfers them from this ministry to another. So there is no good faith, there is no good intention to fight corruption in this country. All right? How do you explain? And I want to agree, nobody is fighting development in whichever part of the country. Even us in Central, we are demanding a lot of it. We are saying we have still so many roads that need to be fixed. We wouldn't also mind to have SGR going to Isiolo via Central Kenya. So nobody's fighting that the Mau Summit Road shouldn't be done. The Malaba SGR shouldn't be done. It's a right to every Kenyan to enjoy development by government because we all pay taxes. But what I'm saying is, for example, let's talk about Talanta Stadium. All right?
Yeah.
Talanta Stadium is an important stadium. All right? But we go ahead and get a loan of 45 billion shillings to build a stadium that maybe will be used 10 times or 20 times a year, and then we have to pay 500 million shillings in interest in the next 15 years. At the end of the day, that particular stadium is going to cost us 150 billion shillings. All right? Is that cost
Return
worth
on investment,
the
is it
benefit?
okay? Yeah.
That's the questions we are asking. And he told us that the new SGR is costly. All right? It is
True.
costly, yes,
Yes.
but can we have public participation? Can we have transparent processes? I would rather it costs even twice as much, but every Kenyan is satisfied that this is okay. It was done in a transparent manner. But now there's no public participation by this government. Everything is kifua. Everything is force. Our debt continues to balloon every other day. We'll be left in a lot of problems in the coming days. So the fundamental question we are asking is, these projects are important. I look forward to one day boarding a train from Nairobi to Busia.
Yeah.
I'll be so excited to spend 8 hours, that particular journey, because that is Kenya. But what is the cost-benefit analysis? At what cost are we bringing this development to Mwananchi? And is Mwananchi involved? Are they happy to say that part of my money, I want to see 150 billion shillings or 200 billion shillings go to this particular project?
So
Bobasi one.
there is the listening to what has been peddled and accepting that as truth. And there is lived experiences. I've said this in different places, that you think people older than you are careless people, they're extravagant, they're even idiots, because you can't understand how somebody who's paid a salary every 30 days is broke by the 5th day. Until you get your first paycheck, then you realize you actually don't take 5 days. You take 2 because...
to clear everything.
you have overdrafts that kill the money before it arrives.
Yes.
But you even don't understand how your father is paid 30,000 shillings and he doesn't have your school fees of 10,000 shillings. Then you're here paid 5 times what he used to be paid. You can't marry. Not even get to qualify to pay school fees. Then there is the wisdom in knowing that the doing is different than the speaking. We are all eloquent. We confused good debaters to leaders, and we know what people who are senators are doing as governors. Because then we thought if they can argue, they can manage, and they failed terribly. And that's the same mistakes we make when we think A students should be doctors, and then they end up doing their problems. We do the same mistake when we think the only people who can be policemen are people with certain grades. Then they can't understand economic crimes that are done over sophisticated crypto anonymized databases. That's when you go to a police station telling somebody mtu amenibia account yangu anakuambia si ufungue ingine. Because they think an online working account is a Facebook account. They don't know there is verification, interviews, essays that come with you, even qualifying for you to earn from that platform. What am I saying? When we look at Talanta Stadium, anybody who has never played football, we think it's a useless infrastructure. Because you think sports is michezo. Sports is not michezo. Sports is what makes people billionaires. Mayweather makes money we'll never see in our lifetimes, just for punching people. Ronaldo kicks the ball twice and he's making a lot of money. Closer home, my sister Ellen Obiri is a millionaire by whichever currency because of running. And that is what Talanta Stadium represents. When you say a stadium will be used for 2-3 times a year, you forget that my club, Shabana, is winning matches every week from whichever stadium it's playing. And we are jazzing stadium in every county of this country. So if Shabana goes to Talanta Stadium, all seats will be filled. People will buy soda. Others will buy beers. Others will buy even contraceptions. And that is business to this country. And movement, Airbnbs will be booked the whole of this country. So let's not look at things the way we want to see them. I play football twice a week at night in Parklands. That ground, we pay 7,500 per hour. So if this Talanta Stadium will create other small fields where our people will leave their offices, go play football till midnight, that's what a stadium you use 3 a year. There is a science in this mathematics. And if you look at them from a political angle, you miss the point. Our children will be training for marathons there daily. That is money we get to cash in only when they win medals. But we forget, you don't win medals in the 3 minutes you ran. You win medals from a lifetime of training and conditioning. We'll have coaches who will have their money by coaching talents which might not get to the Olympic stage, but they're talents which will be engaging our youth for the time that they try to fail and fail repeatedly until they succeed. So there are uses of that stadium more than what is televised. And we want to look at it like that. Let's talk about it, and let's be honest. The global accepted cost of a railway is $1.3 million per kilometer. Ethiopia spent 3. Uganda spent, is it 6? Tanzania spent 4 million per kilometer, which means seemingly we are spending 8. So if you look at it from the statistics and plastic numbers, you'll say all Africa is corrupt, but Kenya looks more corrupt than every other African country, which is true. If you look at it from a plastic mathematical viewpoint without looking at our local realities.
Maybe, yeah.
So building of a railway in Kenya does not go just building of a railway. We have an emotional attachment to land. And that is where we say we don't have even the land question, we have the land questions. Land occupies a whole chapter in our constitution for one reason. Correct. That land is not just property. Land is not just an economic capital. Land is the graves of our forefathers. It is the heritage of our people. It's a location of the names we bear.
Yeah?
So then when you value land, it doesn't just come in numbers. It comes also in emotions. It comes in, my grandfather Otieno was buried here. Why should a railway pass through my grandfather's grave? It comes with economic heritages like Taj Mahal, where that Kenyan of Indian descent could not understand why a mall that he built so emotionally needs to move for a road. And there were cases to the Supreme Court to defend that.
So that's what
the railway.
That's what is costing.
The railway can cost $1.3 million building the railway, but there is eminent domain, buying property from these people, convincing them that you need to sell this land for the greater good of passing a railway. So land in Mtito and Day will be 300 per acre, which you will buy, and it will make sense if you build
it is
a
not
railway.
300. It's not 300.
Land in Nyacheki, in Kisii, will be 300,000 per acre. But if you are building a railway around Kisii, it will be $1.3 million because your cost of acquiring land is the same.
Okay.
But if your railway is passing through Runda,
so I think the concern now, let's, because of time, so that now we can get time to do some other things. Getting what he was talking about, the public participation, and then that transparency to people like us Kenyans, because we are concerned these are our taxes that are doing all this work, right? Then now there's also the question of the value.
So by value I mean
that one you have explained, whatever you have explained.
Acquisition of land will go beyond some places. Like if you're building a road in Runda, even Karen on Lower Kabete, you'll be buying land at $1 billion an acre. That is beyond the brick and mortar.
Put it on the nini. Put it open so that now people don't.
See.
Maybe there's a failing on that side.
That's what we are talking about.
There's a failing on that side. But again, where do we get these figures we talk about if then we don't get them from a point of information? If we say we don't know what is happening, yet we throw figures around, then where are we basing our information?
It comes after it is already done. All right?
Like for example, let me take you back to the Talanta. It's just
correct.
This
I wanted to
stadium
go back
that
to
is
Talanta.
right here with us. I was looking at there was the Auditor General's report about some amount which cannot be really accounted for, right? Even before
is another 11 billion
yes,
shillings.
before that. So I think that is the worry of Kenyans. You know, personally as a Kenyan now, let me talk as a Kenyan, not a moderator here.
Yes.
I would be so happy, like when we are having such kind of programs and initiatives that the government is doing. But at the same time, I would not be happy when I see some funds are just getting lost. Somebody is benefiting from what we really sweat for. And especially at this time when the cost of living is quite high. You see, I think that is the only worry of Kenyans. I don't think mimi hata hiyo uwanja nataka kucheza sana.
Allow me, Tricia.
Because I'm a footballer, by the way.
Allow me, Tricia.
Yes.
And I agree with you. I want to tell Bobasi one that nobody has an issue with the utility of these projects, all right? And I said I look forward to the day I board a train from Nairobi to Busia, all right? I look forward to attending the AFCON 2027 at Talanta Stadium.
Yes.
I would be excited. It's a beautiful project. But my question is, how do you explain to me that Talanta Stadium has costed more than Old Trafford, all right? How do you explain to me that there was a tender of 34 billion shillings to do Talanta Stadium initially, and all of a sudden that was recooked and it went to 45 billion shillings, all right? How do you tell me to get satisfied with the Rironi Mau Summit Road when an original tender of 150 billion shillings had already been awarded? This regime comes in, cancels that tender, and it's given to another contractor at 200 billion shillings. These are fundamentally the questions we are asking, all right? I've got no issue, and I love football, and I'm excited about Talanta Stadium. But what I'm talking about is the cost-benefit analysis. It's not about really, sports is good. I support it. Let me finish this, I support the players utilizing that, and it's good to have it. And he has said it. And he has said that he's a fan of Shabana, all right? I support AFC, all right? But I can't even remember the last time Shabana filled up Kasarani Stadium, all right? I can't remember the last time Shabana filled up, Nyayo National Stadium. Can we also try, as a country, to live within our means, all right? I know AFC and Gor will fill Kasarani and Nyayo, but I would struggle with Shabana. But fair enough. What I'm saying is, can we, before we go to that, can we look at fundamentally what is pressing? Where the baby is crying, education, security and healthcare, all right? Would it have costed us so much to say, guys, let's wait Talanta, and it's a good project. Can we first of all fix education? Can we first of all pay university lecturers? Can we first of all standardize or maybe even increase capitation? Because that is exactly what is pressing the common mwananchi, all right? I have got no issue with Talanta, whether it's in Nairobi or Kisumu or Nyeri or Kitui, it's good and it's for all of us. But what is the cost-benefit analysis? And why is it that every project is a scandal?
So I think also maybe to because I also keep on asking myself lots of questions around such such projects. Do the people who really sit down and come up with these cost and the budgets, are they really, okay, I don't know what they usually explain to the president. Because that is the question I think a majority of Kenyans keep on asking themselves. Because I think somebody said we've had one of the most bold presidents in this country. Because there are some things that, people will always cry. They will cry. There are some things that the cry of the people will make you never to do them.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, because huyu atalia leo, kesho akinyamaza huyu mwingine analia. So sometimes, so it needs a lot of boldness for you to be able to do something. So somebody praised the president for that, which I also tend to agree to certain percentage. Yeah. He's so bold, our president. But then now, are these people advising the president misleading or somehow, I don't know, do they want him to come out to portray him badly to the people?
There is an office, or there was an office or government spokesperson in the times of Kibaki. And that government office was held by Alfred Mutua. He had Thursday sessions where he could engage everyone on every question of government. And what he didn't know, he used to say, guys, I don't know that. You give me a week, I go consult, I come back to you. We have a government spokesperson in this country. And I think the biggest thing he screams is not what he can do, is what he can't do. The reason why the president is struggling to be on top of cars and on top of every other
communication
to do what he's doing is because there is a gap in communication. And two things, either the president is doing nothing and we can see, or the president is doing many things and we can't see. But I choose to see.
Okay.
I choose to see that in every county, or at least a majority of counties, there are mjengos happening.
We are seeing, all of us actually.
It looks like a building, and it must be a building where people should occupy. That's what he calls Boma Yangu.
Yeah.
There is a stadium that we are discussing. At least we are not discussing a white elephant. We are discussing something, and we're discussing figures that is either expensive or not value for money. There are tractors on my way home. They're building something. It looks like a road. There are 820,000 youths in this country, some of whom have received the first batch of their disbursement of Nyota, and they should do business with it. The people who took loans, some of whom have not paid in the Hustler Fund, that money is lost not because government is not disbursed, but because somebody stood on a microphone and said, "Dio pesa ni yenu kuleni," and we have a default. So yes, there are things. Yes, we are not in heaven, but we are not in hell. There were 5 countries that were supposed to be default on their on their debt obligations: Ghana, Kenya, Zambia, and other 2 that I can't recollect. The other Ethiopia.
Yeah.
The other 3 have defaulted. 2 got out of that hole, and Kenya happens to be part of that. It looks like a miracle.
Which is a tick.
It looks like a miracle, but somebody did deliberate effort to get out of that thing. I say there are things that are going wrong in this country, but not everything is going wrong. Somebody is doing something, and that's why fertilizer is not at 7,000 shillings. It's at 2,500 shillings. Whether there is other things that we complain about that process, that's another conversation. The dollar was at 160 to 130. There are international machinations.
I don't want us to go to the dollar. Just leave the dollar alone.
No.
I'm saying, Tricia.
Yes.
There are international effects of that, but there's something that was done locally to stabilize that for that long. There is the debt that has been ballooning. It did start with this government, but at least now we know how much we are, how much we are paying. Yes, we are paying 7 cents on every shilling to debt, but we are not in default. I shy away from mathematics because it's not my forte. But I always confront logic because I can see, I can think, I can make sense of things. And what I make sense of is there is no perfect situation. Not even our lives are perfect. There are things we should complain about. But while we complain, let us recognize things that are working, things that are being done. NHIF, we had cleaners flying around in choppers to work. And the reason we don't know how much was lost in NHIF is because the system was made so that it facilitates theft. There comes a system that nabs thieves and we're complaining about it. There is a problem with our education, but there is efforts towards fixing it. And I did a matrix of what has been done, whether it comes from government or not. It is happening. We can sit here and choose to cry of how miserable we are, or we can sit here and try to celebrate the little miracles that are happening in our lives that is showing this country that we are not where we are going, we are not where we should be, but at least we are not where we are and we are not suffering as much. I choose not to complain.
Okay.
I choose to recognize what we have done while knowing that Singapore is there and we are going there.
I choose to
natamani hiyo
complain.
siku natamani hiyo siku tutakuwa Singapore by the
I choose
way.
to complain. I choose to complain when things are not working. I choose to complain when my taxes are being stolen left, right, and center. I choose to complain when my mother goes to hospital and has paid for a whole year for SHA, and SHA is not working for her. All right? I choose to complain when I see the young people being killed just because they have come out and said we do not want to be overtaxed. We want opportunities. I choose to complain when you disburse in your term and the same government goes to kill these businesses just because they're on the roadside, or just because these are hawkers, or just because they do not have enough capital to put up their business in a mall, all right? I choose to complain because I have a right to complain. When things are working, I will say it's fine. That is why I said Talanta is a good stadium. SGR to Malaba is a good project, all right? Rironi Mau Summit is a good road. But let's be honest, all right? And let's be fair to each other that if there is a problem, let's call it out. And we are doing this because we have love for the country. We are not doing this to personalize, all right, politics. But we are going to be critical on the president because he's the father of the nation, all right? And he should be the person who calls things that are out of order to order, all right? So allow me to complain when there is pain in this country because I want to do it for posterity. I want to ensure that my kids do not get to a time when even their own land will be stolen. We have seen what is happening at Nairobi National Hospital. We have seen, sadly, what is happening to Raphael Tuju. How do you explain that you send a whole battalion to a private property, all right, just to be able to drive a man outside his property, all right? We have systems. We have structures in this country. We have the judicial system. If somebody has committed any wrong, we don't have to use force. Let them be subjected to the rule of law, all right? So that is what we're
Well, I
saying.
don't want us to get to the
there.
story
No, let's
of
get there.
Raphael
No, we
Tuju,
can.
because
What
even
you're
yesterday
talking
I
about-
heard the president say
Yes.
he got the wrong advisors.
No,
Yeah,
what I'm
he needs
saying-
to align himself with the right people.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
What
something
I'm
that he
saying
said. I
is-
don't want to get
No,
into
what
that.
let's talk about the face value of it.
Yes.
If it's a stolen property, or if that property has a new owner, surely it's just a matter of the rule of law, all right? Raphael Tuju, this is not your property because of A, B, C, D. Let the real owner come out and say 1, 2,
Let's
3.
not talk about that
No,
story.
I'm talking about
because
what the
we
public
have
sees.
we have
Yes.
few minutes.
Yes.
And I also want to know what you people
but
are
you will
planning
agree
to do
with
for
me,
the people.
But you will agree with
Yes.
me that you don't have to be bedridden, you don't have to be killed
True.
to be driven out
That's
of a
one
property.
we are in agreement.
Correct.
Yeah. So I'm just getting back because I know you've pointed a lot of the things, and just to clarify, because I remember that time when is it President Kibaki? No,
Yes.
I think I started understanding things during the the Uhuru Kenyatta's
Yes.
time.
Yes.
And I remember the issue when people were talking about debts. Well, I didn't understand that much about the country's debt and so forth.
Yes.
But then I remember me getting worried and saying, I think these things, I know this person is not going to be in power
Yeah.
in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So maybe some of these things people are doing are just deliberate, or, okay, somebody feels like, okay, because I will not be there, I will not be responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that is the reason why we are saying there is a need for people to complain when we see things go wrong. Because at the end of the day, yeah, this person will get out of power one day, and then the country will be there to face the consequences
Correct.
of some actions that they did while they were in power.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why Kenyans really, I think Kenyans are awake right now when it comes to matters running the country. That is
Yeah.
something that we need to agree on. And we saw this by the protests that the Gen Zs did in 2024, showing that people have started understanding, because why we are here in terms of debt, 12 trillion, is because people borrowed back then. And we have been talking about odious debts. We have been talking about funds or monies that
Spending
are borrowed
bills.
That
that we
never
cannot that's why that we cannot see in our economy.
Yeah.
It can't be accounted for in our economy.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why when people are coming out and talking, when people have that discourse and they are coming out and talking, me, I'm happy, because we need to correct things before they get worse.
Yeah.
So allow us Kenyans to complain when we feel like things are
And
not
it's
really
because we
working.
love our
Because
country.
at the end of the day, it is your children will pay. My children will pay.
Correct.
Our grandchildren will pay
Correct.
for the things that we don't do right now.
Yeah.
You get?
True.
Yeah, so, okay, let me just, before we wind up, because we have few minutes remaining,
Yeah.
let me give you an opportunity, because you people, you have really talked. Tell us what you're going to do for the people, because we also want to feel your impact in in the governance of this country.
So, Tricia, I'll want to say that debt was not taken during this government.
True.
Debt was paid.
That one we have agreed. Yes.
Debt is being paid
Yeah.
during this time, and our collections cannot support our debt. Sometimes we borrow Paul to pay Peter. I hate it that we are there, but that's something we are doing. But there's a brilliant idea called the infrastructure fund, which will help us invest so that we will loan ourselves and loan other people. And that's that.
Is that what you're going to do for the people?
Now, this is what I'm going to do with
Okay,
the people of
okay.
Bobasi. Nobody knows Bobasi before I started shouting Bobasi, because our member of parliament does not, I don't want to say he's deaf and dumb, but I'm saying that we have never had him sponsor anything in parliament, neither we ever had him argue on our behalf, say things that we want to say on things like the finance bill, say things we want to say on things that affect us, including the public debt. That's why I'm forced to be walking around stations and this podcast trying to voice the voice of Bobasi.
Yeah.
And I think when you say, what is this constitution called Bobasi? Then they'll be like, this is the constitution some young man is yelling in everywhere he goes to. So I want people to listen to the voice of Bobasi in parliament. And that is happening in 2027. The second thing I want to do is, 200 million is not money you throw around and people don't see where it goes. There's 200 million that goes to Bobasi constituency every year. I want the people of Bobasi and the people of this country, when they go to Bobasi, they see 200 million every year in the lives of our people, in education, in meaningful infrastructure, and in things that our people can benefit from directly. I want to spend that money and account for it and tell them this is where your shilling goes and this is where I took it. The third thing I want to do is to engage the people of Bobasi. I don't want to think on my head and say they need roads when really they need hospitals. They need boreholes when children are going hungry. I want to afford something called consultative leadership, where I spend this money for you, with you, where you tell me this is what you want my money to go to, and this is where we want it. And I don't want to make a blanket statement. I want their people to feel their leadership and to be part of what they are doing. So that's what I stand for. 3 things: effective, impactful representation, purposeful spending of their money, and voter-centered development.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Talk
you
to
so
the
much.
people of Othaya.
Yes.
Othaya, yes.
Othaya.
You are
Nyeri
Othaya
County.
1, eh?
I'm Othaya 1, yes.
Yes.
First, I really want to appreciate Bobasi 1, and I look forward to engaging him in the next parliament. And I want to say that effective young leadership is coming in this country. And you can see the likes of us with Bobasi One. When he's talking about his current member of parliament, I thought he was talking about my own. All right.
Oh.
I thought he was talking about my own, who
the
never
problems
speaks in
are
parliament.
common.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's an old man with perhaps average education, if at all, who doesn't speak much in bunge, who doesn't represent us at all. All right. And that is why we are stepping in and saying one of the things that I'm going to do as a member of parliament for that constituency is effective representation. The role of a member of parliament, and that is why I'm excited to run for that position, is representation, legislation, and oversight. All right? I want to be aggressive. I want to be vocal enough to represent the needs, the aspirations, the voices of my people in parliament. My background and what we do in Othaya quite a lot is agriculture. So I want to be there and champion the rights of our farmers. All right? Can we have tea and coffee and milk and avocado being also legislated properly in terms of payment, in terms of return on investments, in terms of value for money? And that is what I'm calling effective representation. The role that I'm running for is ideally to go and listen to what the people are saying and champion those rights in bunge, all right? And that is why I belong to a party that is called DCP, and our work is to really engage the people, listen to what they want so that when they send us to work, we are not going to do our own things. We are not going to take our businesses to parliament, but we are going to champion their own rights. Number 2 is about youth, all right? Is about youth empowerment. Today, if I go to Othaya town and I want a meeting of 500 young people, anytime they will show up. That is to tell you that we have a gap in terms of opportunities. We have a gap in terms of bringing opportunities and capital to our young people. So my other critical agenda is to see how we champion and empower the youth to be able to do business, to be able to get jobs, to be able to get exposure that is required, because we have such a huge problem. And as a country, if we do not address the youth problem, it's going to be a disaster in the coming days. Of course, the other bit is about agriculture. Agriculture in this country is the backbone of our economy, but we haven't looked at it properly, all right? How do we make sure we get enough empowerment to our farmers, all right? We're talking now about precision farming. We're talking about technology in farming. We're talking about exposure in terms of international farming agenda to our farmers. The traditional farming practices must now, and we must talk to our farmers for them to accept modern farming and so on and so forth. So my critical agenda is effective representation, how we support our youth, how we provide opportunities for them, how we provide exposure for them, how we provide capital for them, and all that is available in government. And number 3 is really a critical mass in my constituency is farmers. How do we support farmers to ensure that whatever they do, they get value for it and there is a return, effective return on their own investment? So I'm looking forward to that. And like I've said, my party is DCP. We are the alternative government. And that is why we are saying one term. One term is not a personality issue. It's just saying that we cannot tolerate another 5 years of the pain that we have gone through as a people, as a country, all right? We cannot take another 5 years. And for us to be able to implement our agenda in health, in security, in education, in development, this regime must give way to the alternative united government.
Wow. I like how both of you have expressed yourselves and what you're really planning to do for the people. One funny thing is that both of you come from different political parties, affiliation and so forth. So, but when I listen to both of you, there's something in common that you really want to bring the young, and especially the fact that all of you are still young. Yeah, that means we are soon we are going to be to see young leadership in this parliament and in other seats or levels of governance in this country, which is quite interesting. So we have the young people outside there. You've heard your fellow young people and what they are really planning to do for you. So it is up to you to make a choice whether you want to go with them or you want to go with the others. So I think up to this moment, thank you so much, guys, for coming. Thank you, Anthony, for coming. Othaya One. Yeah. Thank you, Bobasi. Bobasi One. Yeah, Otieno for coming, Bobasi One. So people from Othaya, people from Kisii, your people are here. So please see what you can do. See whether whatever they have brought on the table is what you really want from them. So thank you so much also for choosing the Citizens Mic podcast. As usual, I keep on telling you, this is a platform. You have ideas, you have opinions that you want people to hear about. This is the platform. The citizens outside there, of course, they are going to receive you. My name is Tricia. Until next time, goodbye. Stay safe.